Let's go next to our caller from the 478 area code. 478, who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, David. This is Spencer. Actually from Colorado Springs, 478 in Georgia. But I
Isn't
got to give a
Colorado
shout out to
Springs
Georgia.
one of the most conservative places in the country?
Dude, let me tell you my life story.
Well, please,
Going from
please don't
Georgia,
tell. I don't know how old you are, but that could be a very long story.
I'm okay. I'm 26 years old, but
Okay.
I'm originally born in Texas, but grew up in Georgia. Obviously, very conservative area. Then
Oh,
about
you're
three
talking about
years ago,
Colorado Springs. I thought you said Colorado Springs, Colorado, and then you went to
I
Georgia.
did, I did,
Oh, you
I
did?
did. I
Okay.
just gotta, yeah. Okay, so then I moved from Georgia to Dallas, Texas, and of course that's very conservative. Although fairly, I mean, there are a good number of younger kids due to all the colleges down there,
Right.
and so I'm finally like my college fund runs out. I want to run to somewhere more liberal and more aligned with my views and a little less humid because I'm a ginger kid and I hate the sun.
Okay.
And I chose Colorado, and turns out Colorado Springs, yeah, is the most. I think it's in the top 10 most conservative cities in the U.S. So I've made a very weird choice.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of I don't know if it's like the organizations that sell disaster supplies, like, 80 pounds of mashed potatoes or whatever, but there's some industry that's really big in Colorado Springs. It might be certain types of ministries. I
Well,
don't remember now.
it's the evangelical capital of the world.
Got it.
The
Got it.
Koch brothers resort here every year. Yeah, it's full of right wing money.
Got
But
it.
to get to my question, I've been a huge foreign policy wonk over my 8 years or so of being really politically active, and I always bring up the military budget. I think it's $716 billion this last year, if
All
I'm
right.
not mistaken. But how would you go about cutting that in a way, like let's say Bernie Sanders gets elected, how would you go about cutting that in a way to not stir up public fear, because the public overwhelmingly supports the military, obviously, and I don't think the vast majority of Americans can or understand like all the waste that goes into the military. So what do you think would be the right strategy or the right method of going about removing some of that money from the military budget and reallocating it towards social programs or
Right.
what have you?
Well, here's the thing. So the thing about the military budget is, with the military budget, the debate is not usually can we cut it? It's can we slow down the rate at which it's growing? And we need
Yeah.
to even restructure that debate before we can even really talk about cutting it. I think that there are two basic ways that we could least controversially start chipping away at it. One is there are all sorts of programs that dictate the replacement of all sorts of equipment on certain schedules, which are just handouts to the military industrial complex. Let's start to space those out, like things that are replaced every 5 years, maybe get replaced every 8. Like that alone is going to start shrinking one piece of that budget. And then the other thing is let's actually start shutting down, decommissioning certain bases around the world. I think at the last time I checked, there we have like 4 dozen bases in Germany or something like that. I think most Americans
Yeah.
would be reasonably satisfied that the US will be safe with only 25 bases in Germany, for example. That's an opportunity where we can literally just start chopping things off. And yes, there are people who work there. We have to figure out, do they lose their jobs or do they get moved elsewhere? These are things that have to be figured out. But if you want to cut the budget, that's going to come with the cutting of some jobs, and we have to accept that.
Yeah, I feel the same way about how people in the healthcare insurance industry are going to have to find new work
Yep.
once if it eventually comes to that. But one other thing relating to that, what do you feel about maybe capping military spending?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you talk about that, so sure, I have no personal opposition to it. The problem is those are the types of things that one party will say we are preemptively limiting ourselves without knowing what the
Sure.
circumstances will be. So, like, I agree with you that we spend so much already. It's hard to imagine any situation where a cap will actually endanger us. But you will have someone who says, no, it's sort of like we shouldn't ever take anything off the table. You're taking off the table the possibility that in the future we might need to do X, Y, or Z. I don't agree with that logic, but some politician will make the case, and then it'll become an issue of patriotism, and then the left will lose if that's our
Yeah,
approach.
and like I said it earlier, that's my main concern with the average American, their ability to, separate the facts of how much we spend versus
Right.
like where we spend them. Yeah.
For
But all
sure.
right, I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for calling in. Yeah, great to hear from you. Appreciate it.